Spider's Web, and this video you may have seen before. This is a cut down video from the interview I did with my friend Karina Kantas. She's asked me to do this simply because she would like to share the fibromyalgia section of that video with various fibromyalgia sites that she's also involved with. So that's why this video is being done. If you want to watch the full video, I'll bear in mind the full video talks at the beginning about her life as an author and virtual assistance for other authors. This particular video is the last part of the main video, and it's, as I said, dealing with the topic of fibromyalgia and how we cope and what we have to put up with as sufferers of fibromyalgia. So that being said, I'm going to pop the link up here for the full video. If you want to see that, feel free to go ahead. But as I say, in this video it's, as I say, just to do with the fibromyalgia part. So enjoy, and if you want to leave any comments below, feel free to do that as well. Okay? One thing I do want to touch on. That's a completely different story. We both have a little something in common.
We have a lot in common. What do you mean?
Well, you know.
Do you want to tell them how we met?
Well, the necklace that she's wearing should give some idea. It's a
zoom in. Zoop. I hope you recognise it.
We originally met in an MSN group to do with Lord of the Rings. Now
it was the official Lord of the Rings UK fan club.
Yes. And I love the books, but you're
I
more
love
for
the films.
Now I don't think the films.
And I thought the books.
No.
No, we didn't clash, but we had difference of opinion.
Yeah.
But that's how we.
But that's how it works, you know.
Yeah.
It can't all be the same.
We can. That's it.
But
and that was how many years ago?
Oh God Almighty. 14, something like that. 14, 15.
Yeah, maybe. And we've met. Oh, excuse me. This is the third time we've actually met. We talk.
I think in as many years, isn't it?
We talk on the phone every single day. We Skype maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So, you know, we've been friends for a very, very long time. But yes, getting to a more serious matter, yeah, we do have something unfortunately in common. And I was actually diagnosed with this condition by Stephen, because he's had it a lot longer than me and he recognised all my symptoms. So then, of course, I went online, I did my research, and I didn't go to the doctor with, this is what I've got.
Yeah.
I just went, yeah, that's wrong, they don't like that. I went to the doctor and just explained what was going on with me, and she just clicked and went, you've got fibromyalgia. And that's something we've...
And unfortunately, it's a case of, well, fortunately for you, you had a doctor that recognised the symptoms. I didn't. I was going through it about 10 years.
I had
someone
it,
actually put it down.
I had it 5 years before it was diagnosed.
Yeah, I was putting up with I got diagnosed 6 years ago, but I've been putting up with it
For a lot longer.
about 10 years prior, before someone actually turned around and said, yeah, that's what it is. And it's
that's the way it starts. Even now, I mean, so many people are being diagnosed with it every single day. But back then, it wasn't. There was no such thing of it as fibro. It was made up. It's all in your head.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. And then when the doctors started saying this is what you've got, the only reason they did that is because they ruled everything else out. And so you were left with fibro. But it's only over the last few years where they've actually, it's now...
Well, I think, isn't it about 2 or 3 years where it's actually been official.
It's not.
It's officially identified as a
in
condition.
the UK. In Greece,
UK.
unfortunately, it's not. So we're still fighting that one over in Greece. But for those that don't know what fibromyalgia is, the easiest way to describe it is a condition that affects the whole of the nervous system of the body. So you're talking sight, hearing, smell.
The way I describe it, stand in front of a wrecking ball, let it hit you full force, and then try and go for a walk afterwards. That's the best way to describe it.
There are a list of maybe 20, 30 symptoms that are in with this condition. And because there is no cure for fibro, what their doctors are doing is they're trying to knock off, oh, you have severe insomnia, we'll give you this. Yeah. You have chronic pain, try that. You have, and they're trying to, but when you have 50 different symptoms, you're not going to take 50 different tablets.
Exactly.
It's enough, I mean, if you see the cocktail of drugs any person with fibromyalgia has, it is a cocktail of drugs. And it's not a cure, it's not helping, but we take it because that's all they're giving in us. So I think it's basically acceptance, living with it, but it's not easy. It gets worse over the years.
Yep.
Your quality of life it can almost come to a standstill if you allow it. I mean, there are days where you cannot get out of bed, no matter how much you want to. You cannot get out of bed. You've got no energy. You're tired. You're hurting so much you cannot walk. And then there are other days where, like we've done today, we've been able to go out and have a coffee.
But the problem is, on those days, 2, 3, 4, possibly 7 days afterwards, we will pay for it.
Even on the good days when we know we can do things, we still have to be very, very careful what we do, because like Stephen says, we will pay for it.
Exactly. So the key to it is to carry on, to try and get yourself into a routine where you're doing the same things day after day after day. It's the most boring way to live. But unfortunately, if you feel better one day, don't try to do more than what you could do
even if you think you can,
because it will drag you down afterwards.
It will. And it's not just one day, the next day you're in bed, you can't get out. It hits you, like you said, like a wrecking ball, and you're out for 3, 4, 5 days before you can actually feel like yourself again. But it's living with chronic pain. That is the worst thing. How can, I mean, you go, a normal person does a jog or an aerobics and they're hurting the next day. We live with that. People don't realise what chronic pain is unless you experience that yourself.
Exactly. And it's not just chronic pain. There's lots of different symptoms. Memory loss. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but I feel as though I'm coming down with some form of dementia because I can't remember anything. Like the other day when we were talking to you, I had not a clue.
Alzheimer's. I mean, people say, oh, don't say that, you don't know what Alzheimer's is. And I agree, I don't. And I know that is a very horrible, horrible situation. But when you're our age and suddenly you're talking and then you don't know what you were talking about, or you can't find the word you were talking about, or okay, you come in a room and you're trying to find something and you've lost your keys. That's normal for you. For us, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And 10 times as worse. But the worst thing about it is when you are trying to articulate and to get something out, and having your own, having my own children finish my sentence. That is really awkward for me. Having my husband do the washing up, having him put the washing on the line, having him sweep the floor because I'm not able to do that.
When he's finished, send him round to mine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm blessed. I'm blessed that I know people don't have the help that I have, so I am blessed in that way. Fibro has taken taken my life, taken the quality of my life. I'm no longer the wife I wanted to be or could be. I'm no longer the mother that I should be. I'm doing what I can, and my girls are absolutely amazing and they're so understanding. But that doesn't make me feel any better, because I know I shouldn't. What I should be doing, what I can't do.
And the other side of that one is their child has been removed because they're having to grow up a lot quicker to look after you. Well, it should be the other way. It should never be the child
looking after the mother.
Parent. It should always be the parent looking after the child.
And Sophie has. I mean, my eldest, she had to grow up.
Yeah. And that's always a bad thing.
It went from being diagnosed and just having a bit of pain now and again to the following year of almost not being able to do anything.
Yeah.
And then it was the acceptance, and then knowing your limitations, and that does take time. I mean, that took me a long time.
Yeah.
So you accept it, you know what you can and you can't do, but even then you are forced in situations where you know you shouldn't be doing this, but you are forced into the situation of doing it.
Yeah.
Like a 4-hour drive up to Northampton.
Well, down to Northampton. I wasn't forced. But yeah, that's the scary part when you're actually driving long ways on your own. If it wasn't for the sat-nav, even if I knew my way down here, there are times where, and I don't know about you, but I've been driving somewhere that I know very well. I could have been driving from my home to my dad's, which is a journey I do twice a week at least. And there's times when I've got so far, and then for that brief moment,
You're like, where am I?
I don't recognise anything around me. Where am I? Where am I going? What am I doing? And then all of a sudden it comes back to you. And that really is enough to...
It's scary.
It's very, very scary.
It's very, very scary.
And
It is.
But that's just memory problems and the pain.
Then you've got the severe insomnia. I mean, I don't sleep till 5-6 o'clock. Yeah, no, that is.
Yeah.
It's 5-6 o'clock in the morning when I do drop off. I could yawn, but if I tried to sleep, would just be laying in bed wide awake until whenever. So we keep our mind going until it's ready, but then you don't get any symptom to say, right, now you're going to sleep. All of a sudden you're reading or you're on your computer, and next thing, and you wake up and you were like, oh, I was in the middle of sending a text, you know.
The amount of time I have actually woke up to find the word QWERTY stamps on my forehead where I've just gone face planting the keyboard. It's... You
have to laugh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
You know, you've had your weeping, you feel sorry for yourself, because it does take away your life, but then you accept it and you get on with things, and every year is going to get worse, more and more less things you're going to be able to do, but for now you can do this, so enjoy it, do it.
As far as I'm concerned, if it wasn't for my sense of humour and some good friends around me, I would be simple as that.
I unfortunately lost all my friends because I live in a Greek village, and we only had a certain group. I unfortunately lost my friends when I became ill. They just, not one by one, that was it, they were gone.
As far as I'm concerned, not friends.
Well, there's that. Now I can count my friends on one hand, but I know
that's only because you can't count past 5.
So I know they don't live near me, but they will make the effort to come and see me. I know if I need them, they're there. And then I have my best friend forever, BFF. And because we know what each is going through, and we're always there for one another, and I think that helps a lot, I think.
Yeah.
It does me.
If you've got somebody who can understand the situation you're going through, it helps all the more, no matter where they are. And
I mean, people have still got a stigma against with this. You know, it's a mental disease. It's all in the head. There's nothing wrong with you. How can you be okay one minute and look at you, you're not ill. That is the worst thing, when people come up to
really
you and they say, oh, you look well, are you feeling better now?
Yeah, and that's when that happens. I can feel my fists clench as soon as somebody says that to me.
Why should you have tears in your eyes just to make them happy and understand? No, you have a smile on your face, and not for their benefit, but for your own benefit.
Yeah, if you didn't have a smile on your face.
But that doesn't mean that you're not in pain. That doesn't mean that when you get home and you might cry yourself to sleep at night, because you do. You know, fibro is a horrible, horrible illness. There's no cure. There is no way of saying, why did you get that? How did it happen?
Yeah, it can come from some form of trauma, like a car accident or a bang to the head, anything like that. A virus. It can come from anything.
There's just not enough research, and this is another problem, and this is what I want to speak to the camera, to you people now about. There are places where you can go and donate money and start raising funds. Yes, I know there are thousands.
I think we've got a bit of a problem.
I saw that flashing, I wondered what that was.